when you have 4 terms in the polynomial, so you see here you have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. Okay, the way you factor it is you do something called factoring by grouping. And this is really easy to do. All you do is this, take the first 2 terms, put a parenthesis around it, right? And take the second 2 terms and put a parenthesis around it. All right, now look at the first parenthesis. Is there a common factor there? X squared, right. So you're going to take x squared out. And that's what you see being done. You're taking x squared out. When you take x squared out of this, what's left over? X minus 3, right. And that's all the easy stuff we got. So you're taking out the common factor. Okay, now look at the second parenthesis. Is there a common factor there? Negative 16. Remember, if it starts with a negative, you got to take the least negative out. So it's negative 16. So you take that out. Then what's left over? X minus 3. Okay, all right, now you see what happened? Both of the parentheses match, right? X minus 3. That means you're doing the right thing. Okay, so what are you going to do next? You write down the stuff that's left over, right? X squared minus 16. And you write down the common parenthesis, x minus 3. All right, everybody okay so far? What's happening? Okay, now here comes this is where it gets difficult for some people, right? So here's the thing. That could be the answer if you can't factor this any further. Okay, but look, x squared minus 16, you can factor that, right? Yeah, okay, and you guys know that. It's called the difference of 2 squares. You learned that first semester. So this becomes what? It becomes x minus 4 times x plus 4, right? And then you keep this one right there, x minus 3, right? And there's your answer. Okay, so that would become your answer, right? Okay, but look, if you couldn't factor this any further, okay, then what? That would be the answer right there. And you ought to see both of those things as you do the assignment. Sometimes you'll get this and say, oh, can't factor anymore. That's the answer. Sometimes you're going to get this and say, oh, I can keep factoring it. Okay, so you continue factoring it. Okay, so is everybody lost? So what's happening up to this point? And you get
the whole term line again, right?
Yeah, it's all online, right? But you just got to understand. You got to understand it. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
All right, so take a look at this now. All right, take a look. Here are these 4 problems. I'm sorry, these 6 problems right here. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Let's do number 4. Let's try number 4. All right. So are there 4 terms?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So since there are 4 terms, we're going to put parentheses around the first one, right? And parentheses around the second one, right? Okay. Now, what's the greatest common factor on the first parenthesis? M squared. So let's take m squared out, right? And then what's left over? 3m minus 1, right? 3m minus 1 is correct. Okay, now look at the second set of parentheses. Okay. Okay. No, not negative 3. Positive, right? It starts with a positive, so you take out a positive, right? So positive 3, right? Okay, and then what's left over? 3m minus 1. There you go. Okay. All right. So now what am I going to write down next? M squared plus 3, and then times 3m minus 1 is right. There you go. There it is. Okay. All right. Now look at m squared plus 3. Can you factor that any further? No, definitely not. It's a positive in the middle, right? That's it. So that means that's the answer, right? You can't factor any further. There's your answer right there. That's it. The problem's over. Here comes the first thing now. With number 8, here's the thing. Do you see 4 terms there? No. So that means it's not factored by grouping. Everybody understand it? Okay, if they're not 4 there, you don't have to do grouping. Okay, so look, let's do some common sense thing. Look, here's 8 to the 4th. What times what is 8 to the 4th? A squared times a squared. It's like, oh my gosh, that's so simple. Of course I can do this. Look, a squared times a squared, right? Okay, now look at this. Here's positive 6. What 2 numbers multiply give you positive 6, but add to give you positive 7? 6 and 1. So it's going to be what? Positive 6 and positive 1. You're done. The problem's over.
You don't have to like factor.
Well, so look, can you factor it any further? No, you can't. You can't. You see, that's it. Okay, all right. But that's a great question. But let's say this was the answer. Well, this is the answer to the problem. Make sure you see. Okay. But let's say instead this was what you got. Okay, like this. Now, can you factor this any further? Can you factor that any further? Yes, what would that become? A plus 1, a minus 1. You got it. So you see, then you would do that further, right? And that's going to happen on some of these problems. So this would become a plus 1, a minus 1, right? Oops, a minus 1. That wasn't a very good minus. There you go, like that, right? So then that would become the answer, right? So as you see, you just never know what you're going to get. It just all depends what you get here, okay? But in this case, this would be yes. In this case, this is a no, right? That's my answer. So making sense, everybody? That's how easy this is. Okay, all right, so look, here's number 9, right? Here's number 9. Now look, is there a common factor on number 9? No. Okay, so you're just going to go with that, right? Okay, but look at number 10. Is there a common factor on number 10? 2z. So the first thing you're going to do is take the 2z out of this. Now what are you left with? 16z to the 4th minus 1. Okay, now look at this. Can you factor that any further? Yeah, you sure can. So what's that when you factor? 4z squared plus 1, 4z squared minus 1. Okay, you see, look, you see? So 4z squared plus 1, 4z squared minus 1, right? See, good. And then you look at those, right? And say, can I factor those any further? And one of them you're going to say yes, and one you're going to say no to. And factor it further, right? Since that's all it is, it's like breaking down a puzzle. It's like just keep breaking it down till you can't factor it any further. Okay, so factoring and solving it. You understand? So that when you get to the end of the problem, you're going to have something like this. X equals 3, x equals 9, x equals 4, x equals 2. It could be anything, right? You're solving for x on these. Now, what tells you you're solving? What's tipping you off that you're solving here? It's equal to something, right? It's equal to a number, right? What number should it always equal? 0. You see, you guys got this. Okay, so let me show you the one that's probably good for us to do, which is this one, which is not number 16. I forgot. It's number 17. I'm sorry. It's number 17. It's a good one. Let's do number 17. Okay. All right. So look, here's number 17 now, right here. Okay. All right. Now, how many terms are there? How many terms? 4. So then, what kind of factor are we going to do? Grouping. Right. So that says I'm going to do grouping. Okay. So here we go. We're going to go group then. Okay. So we're going to group this, and we're going to group this guy right here, like this, right? Okay, now, look at the first parenthesis. What's the greatest common factor? X to the 4th. Okay, so let's take x to the 4th out. Okay, and then what's left over? X squared minus 4. Okay, beautiful. You guys are doing great. Okay, now look at the second parenthesis. What's the greatest common factor there? Yeah, negative 9. Remember, take out the leaf negative. Negative 9. Right? Okay, so what's left over? X squared minus 4. Right? X squared minus 4 is right. Okay? And that equals 0. Everybody good so far? Okay. All right. Now, so now, what am I going to get then? I'm going to get what? X to the 4th minus 9 times x squared minus 4. Okay, good. So far, we're doing great. Okay, that's perfect. So. Okay, now goes the next question. Now, can you factor this any further? Yeah, okay, so what does that become? X squared, yeah, x squared plus 3 and x squared minus 3. Beautiful, you're doing great. Okay, now look at this. Can you factor this any further? Okay, so what does that become? X plus 2 and x minus 2 is right. X plus 2 and x minus 2. You're doing great. So far, you're doing fantastic on the factoring. Okay? All right. Now, can you factor this any further right here? No, you can't. Can you factor this any further here? No, you can't. Okay, so you're ready to start solving, right? Okay? All right, so let's get to the solving part. Okay, let's look at this one first. Look what you got. X minus 2 equals 0, right? So how much will x equal? X equals 2. There you go. You got one of your answers. X equals 2. There's one of your answers right there. Okay, let's look at the next one right here. X plus 2 equals 0, right? So how much will x equal? X will equal negative 2. Okay, you got the second answer right there. There's that one right there. Okay, let's go to the next one right here. Here you got x squared minus 3 equals 0. Okay, oh, no, wait. You know how to do this, so what do you do first? No, not subtract. Add 3. Add 3 over, so you get what? X squared equals how much? 3. Okay, now what's the next thing to do? Square root both sides. Beautiful. This is square root method, what you learned first semester. So square root both sides, like this. So you get what? X equals what now? Square root 3. Square root 3. Okay? Okay? Plus or minus. Good. It's quadratic. Plus or minus. Beautiful. Now you got the answer. Plus or minus. There you go. So you got that answer. Okay, now let's go to this part right here. So now we've got x squared plus 3, okay, equals 0, right? Okay, what's the first thing you're going to do? Subtract 3. So x squared equals negative 3. Okay, what's the next thing you're going to do? Square root both sides. So square root both sides. Okay, all right, so you're going to get x equals, okay, now yes, I hear somebody saying it. So what's the answer going to be? It's going to be an I. Very good. It's a negative square root. It's going to be an I. Square root 3. Plus or minus. Beautiful. Oh, you guys did so great on that. Look at that. Now look at how many answers did you get? Try again. Not 4. Not 3. Not 1. Not 2. Not 0.
27.
Look, just count them.
6.
6 is right. You got 6 answers. Look. 1, 2, right here. 3, 4, right here. 5 and 6. There's 6 answers you get. Wait. 6 answers. Wait. What tells me? What tells me I'm going to get 6 answers? Because it's x to the 6. The degree is 6. That's telling you you should get 6 answers. That's what you're now discovering. Okay, if the degree is 6, I should get 6 answers. That's it. It's crazy, but that's how this works in math. Okay.